Hey everyone, so this video is actually very late. I meant to post it a couple of weeks ago, but I've been super busy and got held up. This year my household celebrated Wolfenoot. Wolfenoot is a holiday that was made by Jax and her son. Wolfenoot is when the spirit of the wolf brings and hides small gifts around the house for everyone. People who have had, or are kind to dogs get better gifts than everyone else. You eat roast meat and a cake decorated like a full moon. This, of course, sounds like great fun, so we figured why not do it ourselves. First step was for us to make a cake, and because I'm lazy I used a pre-made mix. First step was getting the bowl and adding in the mix. I added in the amount of milk the pack said, followed by 3 eggs, which I had great fun trying to crack with only one hand because the other hand was for filming because I don't have a tripod just yet. I then added in the oil and mixed the hell out of it. I continued to mix it to make sure all the ingredients were together until it was very smooth, and when it was nice and smooth just like this, I then took an 8-inch cake tin and I greased it with butter. When it was fully greased, I added in half of the cake mix because I wanted to make it a 2-layer cake. That tin was then put into a preheated oven that was at 180 degrees Celsius for 22.5 minutes exactly. When the timer went off, I retrieved the cake from the oven and I used a skewer to poke the middle of it to see whether or not it was fully cooked. The skewer came out completely clean, so I was happy enough with the top layer. I then struggled for a completely unnecessary, embarrassing amount of time attempting to remove the sponge from the tin because, as I said earlier, I was doing all of this one-handed. I was completely convinced that I could do this, and no, I couldn't. I killed it. I killed it bad. The poor sponge. I cleaned that tin, put in the rest of the batter, and into the oven it went, once again 180 for 22.5 minutes. When it was done, I once again poked it with a skewer. I was happy enough with it, and so I put it onto the wire tray for it to cool down with the first piece. While they cooled down, I moved on to the chicken. For the roast meat portion of Wolfenoot, I chose chicken breasts because they're easy to cook and I know all of my dogs like them. They were in the oven at about 200 degrees for 5 minutes with no seasoning or oil of any kind, so they'd be safe for the dogs to eat. I stuck them back in for an extra minute if I thought they weren't fully done. While the first lot of chicken breasts started to cool down for the dogs to eat, I began icing the cake. So I used the chocolate sponges and I put on vanilla buttercream icing that was already made up because, as I've already stated, I was lazy. And I iced the entire thing to kind of look like a full moon. Next, I chopped up some red bell peppers, and I've never done transition before, so here goes. And that kind of worked, so we're going to stick with it. And these are going to be for the dogs. So the chicken breast that's already cooled down, I cut up into smaller pieces so they could have some. And I cut up some very small pieces so that my cat could have them because he kept trying to steal some. I then started preparing the bowls of food. So this bowl here on the back right is for Beauty, the front one is for Toby, and the back left is for Tia. My cat Henry, full name Sir Henry Lionheart, is in his mid to late 20s, so he just kind of gets whatever the hell he wants at this point, because he's so old that he's just doing his thing. He is very much blind, so he kind of needs a bit of extra help pointing out where food is, as you can see, but he's got the spirit. They all got some red peppers as well because they like them and they're a crunchy, nice snack. Henry does not like red peppers. The dogs all got ready for their food, they put on their party attire, and then we were ready to go and have our Wolfenoot dinner. I think it's fairly safe to say that they all enjoyed their food pretty thoroughly. Beauty has to be fed in the corner over here because she's food aggressive, but we're working on it and she's now able to eat in the same room as everyone else, so that's a plus. And Henry got to steal a good bit more chicken. I also had some chicken afterwards, but I had sriracha sauce on mine and I had it well after the dogs were done so that I could eat in peace. So this is Beauty, and Beauty is our newest addition to the house. She is a diabetic Labrador Collie mix. She isn't all that sure about toys because she hasn't played with them much in her life. She's about 5 years old at the moment. I've been trying to train her to chase a ball and get interested in stuff like that. So I said I'd give her the rope one, the squishy soft one with a little squeaker in it because I'm hoping she'll like squeakers. And I ended up giving her a tennis ball as well because she has started chasing the ball because I got her one that had food in it. And it's actually a really good way if you've got a dog that doesn't like toys, get one of the hollow ones with food in it and put their kibble in it. And they do learn to like it very quickly because they'll chase it around the place for their dinner. And the reason why Beauty is getting gifts is because for Wolfenoot, we figure in our house that the dogs will get the gifts and that we get gifts around Christmas and stuff, so the dogs can get gifts on this holiday. This is their holiday now. Beauty seemed happy enough with her toys, so I picked up all her stuff and I let her off into a different room on her own so that she could become acquainted with them and hopefully become interested in them and have a bit of playtime by herself. Next up is Tia. Tia is my own personal dog. She's, we think, a Jack Russell mixed with something. She's nearly 2 years old now and she's very playful, but she's an absolute coward. I found her on the streets, so it's not really that big of a surprise, but she does very much like any toy that squeaks and anything that like a ball that bounces around the place. She likes chasing them, so she's an absolute sweetheart and she's absolutely adorable. So she again seemed very happy with the toys that she was getting too. Just like with Beauty, we kind of took some of the toys for Tia to one side and put them in her crate because Toby is a bully and he'll steal them from her because he's too playful and she doesn't get anything for herself. So Toby just got everything because he's destructive and insane, and yeah, it was the only way it was going to work. Toby is about 1.5 years at the moment. He's a lurcher of some kind, so he was sold to us as a terrier, and he is definitely a greyhound mixed with something. I'm going to guess collie because he's got the thick coat like a collie and he's got a little white patch on his chest. So altogether, I think the dogs had a pretty good Wolfenoot. And then the humans got to have their cake. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I hope you enjoyed. Happy Wolfenoot!